my name is Marios. Γεια σας, τι κάνετε? I'm a Greek language teacher, okay? And today I wanted to share with you some things about the Greek alphabet, okay? It's one of my favorite subjects to talk about because the Greek alphabet has a lot of depth, okay? And yeah, I made this ebook here, as you can see. And of course, I will put a link down to the description. So if you want, you can buy it later. Okay. This is a very good way to support me if you want, of course. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a very good subject. Okay. And in just 5 minutes, trust me, you can learn everything that you need to know about the Greek alphabet. Okay. So I think the first thing that we can say about the alphabet is that the Greek alphabet is originated from, it started, let's say, it's unique, okay, but let's say the earlier forms of the Greek alphabet started from the Phoenician alphabet. Let's put it a little bit more in a simple way. Let's say that the Greeks, let's say, took the Phoenician alphabet because back then the Phoenician alphabet, let's say, it is it had only the consonants, okay, and the Greeks use it, okay, and put the vowels. And let's say that the people that they were using, they were now in an area near Lebanon, okay, the modern Lebanon. They use it for trade and for commercial. They use their script for trade and commercial, let's say, goals, or to use it for like, yes, the commerce, okay, and for the trade. So yeah, the Greeks saw the opportunity, took the consonants and put the vowels, but they made a lot of changes as we're going to see in a few minutes. What we are going to see basically, and this is very, very important just to remember, it's like the Greek alphabet has 20, as you can see here. It has, I will zoom, it has like 24 unique characters, 24 letters. And as you can see also here, we have like 7 vowels. I'm going a little bit fast here, so because we are going to see each letter individually in just a second. We have like alpha, epsilon, eta, iota, omicron, epsilon, και omega. As you can see here, we have many E. Okay, we have this E, this E, this E, and we pronounce it like E. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but keep up with me because you are going to see as it sounds the same. Okay, but we write it in a different way. Okay, and that is very, very important in the Greek language of how you write everything. But from now on, we care only about the sounds. So we have like 7 vowels and we have 17 consonants. It's like vita, gamma, delta, zeta, theta, kappa, lambda, mi, ni, xi, pi, rho, sigma, taf, phi, chi, psi. And voila, here is like all the a brief introduction of the vowels and the consonants of the Greek language, and all of them 24 if my maths is good. Okay, so yeah, let me introduce you first to the first letter of the Greek alphabet, that is of course the alpha. And as you can see, I put an example here, and you can see that the alpha and the beta together as an example, it they form the word alphabet. Okay, so the word alphabet comes from the first 2 letters of the Greek alphabet, alpha and beta. This is pronounced as alpha, alpha. This is the capital one, and this is the small letter. Okay, this is the Greek alphabet. As you can see here, I put also a picture to see it as a whole. Okay, so yeah, and one interesting fact, because remember, we said earlier that Greeks took the Phoenician alphabet and they made important changes to it, like the most important to put the vowels, like alpha. And as you can see here, an interesting fact is that the letter alpha, it comes from the Phoenician symbol aleph. Okay, this one basically, this is hieroglyphic, and then this is how what was the evolution of the letter, as you can see. Look, it is like an ox. It has like meaning ox symbolizing strength, and it look like an ox. Okay, so very interesting to know this one. So yeah, basically this is an alpha, and we pronounce it as alpha. Then we have the second letter of the alphabet. This is the vita. Vita, it is pronounced. And we have a very good example here. This is a viβλio. Viβλio. That means the book. An interesting fact, again, the beta Phoenician root is Beth, meaning house, okay? Representing protection and shelter. House, by the way, in Greek is spiti. Spiti, it's to spiti, okay? So, yeah, then we have the third letter of the alphabet. We have the gamma. It's gamma, okay? And here we have a small cat that we call gata. Gata. This is a picture, and basically, yes, this is what a cat is, a gata. And then, where do you use the gamma? Maybe you have seen it in scientific fields like physics, also maybe in mathematics, if you love mathematics. I'm not very good in mathematics, but that's that's why we are here today. But yeah, this is called gamma. Yeah, this is the third letter of the alphabet. Then we have delta. Delta. So, as an example, we can use the word dendro. Dendro, that it means tree. And if you can see here, delta, maybe you have seen it in some geography books, okay? And geography, delta refers to the landform formed at the mouth of a river, typically where the river splits into multiple branches. As you can see here, you see? Let me use another color to show this. As you can see it here, here is the delta. Okay, this is where the term delta came from in geography. Okay, then we have the letter epsilon, epsilon like epsilon, and we use it. We can use the example elephantas. Elephantas, let's say it's the animal that I have seen in many languages. Okay, like use as an example elephant, for example, or in Italian elefante. Okay, and this is epsilon. And of course, this is the first letter, and this is the first letter of the word Elada. Elada, which means Greece, of course. Okay, so if you didn't know that word, bad for you because it's good to know that. Okay, if you learn, of course, I'm kidding, of course. If you learn the Greek language, it's good to know that. Okay, of course, Elada, Greece. It is written like this, and it is spelled like this in Greek. Then we have like the letter zeta. Zeta, we have like zeta, and then we have zari. Zari is the dice, okay? We can say zebra. Everyone can guess what zebra is. It's the animal zebra, okay? So we have this interesting fact that ancient Greeks loved board games, and dice were commonly used for both gaming and fortune telling. Yeah, basically they were gambling in ancient Greece. That's one very very interesting fun fact. Then we have the first E that we are going to learn. This is the Ita E, okay? And it's the first letter of the word ilios. Let's pronounce it together. So Ita, and this is the ilios. That means, of course, the sun. Okay, this is the sun, and of course, Greece is one of the sunniest places in Europe. Okay, maybe you have been already to Greek island like Mykonos, Santorini, very let's say sunny places, but a lot of wind. That they have like a lot of wind, like in the islands. Okay, so yeah, Greece is one of the sunniest places in Europe. Then we have the theta. I know this is a little bit difficult to pronounce. It's like theta. It's like more of the Spanish pronunciation. Okay, theta, like thalassa, and you can see Poseidon, of course, because it's close related. Okay, and Greek mythology is full of sea gods. But did you know that the ancient Greeks feared the sea so much that they built temples to Poseidon to keep him happy? Yes, of course. Back then, we have like the 12 god of Olympus, one of the 12 gods was also Poseidon, okay, the king of the sea, the god of the sea. And yeah, let's say that the Greeks, let's say, honor all the Greek gods, and especially Poseidon, because Greece is also related to the sea. We have a very close connection with the sea. Then we have Iota, okay, like idea, idea. And this is very, very important to see. Let's see here, Iota, like E in machine. This is the second E that we learn, okay? The first one, if you remember, is the Itai, okay? And the Iota, okay, let's say that the Greeks practically invented philosophy, and the word idea comes from the Greek verb to see, okay, meaning ideas were seen in the mind. Basically, idea, okay, it comes from the verb βλέπω, okay. This is the let's say in the present tense, okay, the verb to see in Greek. But of course, in other, we can see it also in other forms, like I will give you one, like thado. This is in the future simple, but we can see it also in na though. Okay, so basically here we can see that the root is very very common. Okay, though, idea. Okay, so very very interesting this one as well. Then we have the kappa, and of course a word that is used, I think, by all in every language. I'm not so sorry about like if I do any mistakes. I'm really sorry, but yes, we have cafes. Okay, cafes, like kappa, kappa. And yeah, the letter kappa is just like the English letter kappa. It makes the same sound. It's the first letter of the Greek word cosmos. Yes, you know cosmos. You have heard it, and maybe in movies, which mean like world or universe. We use also cosmos, by the way, if you have heard, to say like the people. So, for example, I went to the supermarket, and inside the supermarket, it was a lot of cosmos, like a lot of people. So that word, so to continue a little bit here, to close the parenthesis, that word gave us cosmos in English. So every time you look up the stars, you are seeing a word that started with K. So very, very interesting, like to see, okay, when you look up the sky, like cosmos, universe. But mostly, as I said earlier, we use it to say also like about the people. We describe people, like when we go into a crowded place, for example. Very good. This is the letter kappa. Then we have the letter lambda. Lambda, my favorite letter. Let's say if you have seen the movie by Zack Snyder, the 300s, okay, you can see that in their shields, they bring this letter here, lambda. It's very, very interesting. The next time that you see the movie, just notice their shields, okay? So they bring this lambda, okay? So, yeah, and it is called lambda, and the example we can use is liodari, and this is, yeah, basically interesting fact is that it is used like in the basically in ancient Greek. Lambda, it comes from let's say the lambda that the Spartans bring in their shields come from lakedemon, okay, that is like a Spartan, means like a demon, back in ancient Sparta. Okay, it was their original name. Instead of Spartans, they were called Lacedaemons. Okay, Lacedaemon. And here I have like let's say a pic of Leonidas. Okay, if you didn't notice. Then we have the letter B, like my name, Marios. Okay, it is called me, like moon. And of course, we have the most typical example, like Milo. Milo, that means the apple. And of course, do you know that, ever heard of the golden apple that started the Trojan War? That apple was the reason why the Greeks fought the 10-year war over Helen of Troy. Because I want you, if you want, like to do a quick Google search and search about this topic. It's very, very interesting to see how the Trojan War started. And of course, we have like the Iliad and the Odyssey, if you maybe you have heard, okay, two of the most important books, okay, and they talk about the Trojan War, and of course the Odyssey talks about the adventures of Odysseus, the protagonist, to go back to his, let's say, country that is in Ithaca. But this is from for another topic, not for today. But yeah, this is the letter me. Okay. And of course, maybe you have heard, okay, this is the most important stuff. Maybe you have heard the word malacas. Malacas means, sorry for the expression, asshole. Okay. This is what it's like, stupid asshole. But we use it also to say, like, in friendly context. Okay. Malacas. Like among friends, let's say that, how are you, malacas? Like, Tikanis, how are you? Okay, to our friends, but only to our friends, because if you say to another person that you don't know, yeah, maybe it will be like a minor misunderstanding. Anyway, very good. Then we have the letter ni, like Nero. Okay, ni. This is a picture of the water. Yes, of course, Nero. And an interesting fact: did you know that the ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras used the concept of ni to symbolize the idea of harmony and proportion, which is fundamental to music and geometry? Okay, very very important. Okay, then we have the letter xi, like xenon, xi sound in English, like xenophobia. Okay, it's true that, as an interesting fact, we can say that it looks like a three-line stack, because you can see like one, two, three. That is what all about. Okay, and yeah, we use it in words like xenos, stranger, or guest, and like xenophobia. This is the word that is like xenophobia, xenophobia in Greek. It is used in many languages. Okay, it comes from Greek. Then we have Omicron. This is the second O, because this is the same pronunciation as this one. Or basically, as this one, we are going to see at the end. Sorry. The Omega. Okay. Sorry, a spoiler alert. Yeah, this one. It's the same pronunciation. We are going to see it in just a minute. But first, let's go a little bit here. We have Omicron and O, we say. And an example that we can give is like ohi. This is a word that you're going to use a lot, okay, in your language, in your Greek language journey. And yeah, ohi means no, basically. And the letter O, Omicron, means like small o. Is very, very important, this one, as an interesting fact, because while its larger counterpart, Omega, means great O. Omega is also the watches, if you are interested about watches, as like I am a Greek, I'm a watch enthusiast, okay? So yeah, Omega are also the watches. Yeah, it is fascinating that the two letters in the Greek alphabet represent opposites. Okay, so we have this O that means like small O micron, you see, O micron, microeconomia, okay, but we have omega, mega, megalo, okay. This is about a Greek celebration, okay, that we said Ohi, and I will do a video in the future and explaining about this celebration. It's very, very important to us Greeks, okay. Then we have like, and of course, it has to do with the second WW2, Second World War Two. Okay, World War Two, basically. Okay, and yeah, that's it basically. I'm going to make a video, so don't worry. Then we have like the P. Okay, the P, like pie. Maybe you have heard it before. Like pita. Okay, psomi. Pita, sorry, psomi is the bread. Pita, this one. And an interesting fact is that P is one of the most famous mathematical constants. Sorry about my English. In ancient Greece, it was used basically by Archimedes in his calculation for the circumference of a circle, as you can see here. Okay, and this is a funny pic of Archimedes. And this is pita. So yes, it is used for example, when you go to order souvlaki. Basically, it's a pita with potatoes and pork. Okay, gyros. Okay. Then we have ro like roda. Okay. And basically, yeah, it is. Oh, I made a mistake here. I'm going to fix this one. Okay, it is not rose. It is roda. Is the wheel, basically, as you can see here, and it is called ro. And interesting fact is, yes, the ro, it's a little bit difficult sound, okay, like the the Spanish lover, let's say, okay. This is the sound, okay. Um, the letter rho looks like the English letter rho, but don't be fooled. It's actually the Greek rho sound. That's why Greek words like rhythmos gave us English words like rhythm and rhetoric. In ancient Greek, it was often written with a little rough breathing, as you can see here, marked to show that it started with a strong puff of air, like rolling. This row, the Julio, let's say, rolling. Okay, it's like cats when they you pet them and you like. Okay, πάρα πολύ ωραία. Then we have sigma, and it's very funny because sigma has three forms, three evolutions, let's say. Sigma. This is the sigma that we use in the start of the word, the capital one. This is we use it in the middle, and with this we use it only at the end. An example that we can use it's scholio, that it's school. And yeah, basically the fun fact is, yeah, it comes in three different shapes. Okay, so a lot like three different shapes for you. Like you can choose whatever you want, basically. But yeah, I'm kidding, of course. This is like sigma in the start, middle, end. Okay, this is. I remember that I told you earlier that is how we use the word, how we write them as well in Greek, not how we pronounce them. Okay, very important. Then we have like tough. Okay, tough, like trapezi, trapezi. Trapezi, we have like a Greek word that is called like it is trapeza, trapeza. Okay, so trapeza is like the bank. Okay, and as you can see, it's very closely related. They have like one letter in difference. Okay, iota. This is if you remember from earlier is iota, and this is alpha. And yeah, fun fact: in ancient Greece, the bank, because they didn't have ATMs, I think it's obvious. They have like like a table, and they put the money on. Okay, so yeah, this was the bank in ancient Greece. The money. They didn't have like this kind of currency. Okay, but yeah. So trapezi and the letter Tav was shaped like a cross in ancient times, and early Christians sometimes use it as a secret symbol of their faith, even before the cross became common. It is also the first letter, yes, of course, of the word techni, which means art or craft, and gave us words like technique, technology, and technical. Very, very, very interesting thing to know about this one. Okay. Then we have epsilon. We're close to the end. Epsilon. This is another e. Okay. If you remember, we have the eta e, we have the iota e, and this is the epsilon e. Like for example, υγεία, that means health. Okay. And fun fact about this is that the letter epsilon is the origin of the English letter e. In fact, ancient Romans borrowed e from Greek when writing Greek words in Latin, and over time it transformed it into the epsilon we use today. That's why in French e is still called y, which means the Greek e. Okay, literally, this letter in the French alphabet is called y. Okay, oui, oui. Then we have like the letter phi, like fotia means fire, phi, okay, fire. And the letter phi is often associated with philosophy and the golden ratio. Okay, in fact, the famous philosopher Pythagoras, here, if you didn't notice, used the concept of phi to explore the harmony and balance found in nature. So yeah, fotia, f, okay, phi, okay, this one. This is how it's pronounced. Then we have the hic. Like when you are a little bit, you drank a little bit last night, you're like, hic, hic. So this is the hic, okay, like chrysos, this is gold, okay. So the letter he, it's not the same as in English he, even though they look alike. In Greek, he is pronounced like harsh h, sound similar to who in Bach, the famous composer, or the h in Spanish, Jose. It is also the first letter of the word Christos, meaning Christ, which is why the abbreviation Christmas for Christmas comes from the Greek letter he. Okay, very interesting to know. Okay, Christmas. Okay, and he, this one. Then we have psi, of course, like in laps, you pronounce like psi. Psari, there is a theory, I'm not sure if it's correct. Someone told me that many of the, for example, words that, because this is, look, what, if you see this letter, okay, what does it look like? For me, it looks like the trident of Poseidon, okay, from Greek mythology, okay, the Poseidon that we saw earlier. So there is a theory, basically, that many of the words that has to do with the sea, okay, that have to do with the sea, they use psi, uh, basically, as a starting letter. For example, psari is the fish. Maybe you have heard in a taverna, okay. But this is not very, let's say, we are not sure, okay. Another example is psyche. Okay, an interesting fact is that the letter psi is one of the most unique Greek letters, and it's the first letter of the word psyche, which means soul or mind in Greek. That's why it shows up in words like psychology, psychiatry, and psych. Okay, psyche. It is also used as a symbol in science and even in video games for power of the mind. Okay, psych. Okay, and psychology. Very interesting. It's the soul. Okay. And the last letter, remember that I told you from earlier, is the letter omega. And it's the second O because the first one, if you remember, is the omicron, the small O. Okay, omicron. Okay, we explained it a little bit earlier. That means the great O, as we said. And we have okeanos. Okay, okeanos. Omega is the last letter of the Greek alphabet and it symbolizes the end, of course, and often used in phrases like from alpha to omega, meaning the beginning and the end. Okay, of course, to alpha, the beginning, to the end, omega. So, yeah, that was it basically. Thank you for being with me. This is the first like video that I'm doing in Greek. Okay. If you want this PDF, you can buy it. Okay, I put the link in the description. One thing before I close the video is that let's go to do a small revision of the letters. Is we have 24 letters and we have 7 vowels and 17 consonants, and the letters are alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mi, ni, malacas, mi, ni, xi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, taf, ypsilon, phi, he, psi, and omega. Okay, that was it. Thank you and see you to the next video. Thank you very much.